I don't think I do it
But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well, and big up to you all that are here watching basically the press conference reaction to Mike Skubala's second press conference in charge of Leeds United. It might not be his last either, because Leeds United, as we've just found out, have been rejected by Arne Slot. Okay, he's been doing his pre-match stuff ahead of the weekend and has basically come out and said, I am staying at Feyenoord. Leeds United have contacted the club. They've had conversations, but I am staying put. I will share that with you now, which is disappointing because Leeds United's options are slowly running out. We know Corberan, we know Iriola, and now Slot as well. And me personally, out of all three, I was getting most excited about the potential of Slot coming. We heard this morning that it would cost as little as 6 million for Leeds United to get him out of Feyenoord, but he's come now and said, I'm not going. I'm staying put. I will share the article with you so we can have a read. It's come from Ball, which Slot himself has actually name-checked when he said he discussed about Leeds United initially being linked after the AZ game. He said, oh, yeah, I've seen it in Vault Ball, but no one's been in contact with me yet. Well, we have been in contact with him since that. We've been in contact with Feyenoord, and he's basically said no, he's going to be staying put. I will share that with you now, just so we can have a little read through the article, and then we're going to talk about Mike Skubala's press conference as well, which was another great press conference, I may add. But as you can see from the title, it says, Slot reassures fans after interest from England, I'm staying with Feyenoord. He's not planning to leave Feyenoord in the middle of the season. And this is the key point, isn't it? Like, the managers that we want are doing top jobs. You've got Iriola vying for Europe. You've got Slot, who realistically could do a double this season with Feyenoord, the top of the Eredivisie. They're still in the Dutch Cup and they're in Europe. So if he can take them deep into Europe, potentially get Feyenoord Champions League football for next season, and also win the Dutch Cup, like, to have that on his CV, and it's already been touted that other clubs are looking at him as well, as they will be with Iriola. So it's disappointing. I see a lot in the comments now saying we should have got rid of Marsh before the World Cup. It's easy with hindsight now, but I'd have backed that for sure. We should have got rid of him after Fulham. But unfortunately for us, in a sense, as good as that result was at Liverpool, he saved himself with them 2 games. But we said for a long time, that he was always 1 or 2 results away from it becoming untenable. And, but they should have seen that. They should have seen the light. Because I know a lot of us did. Poch rejected us. I don't think Leeds United have they might have dipped the water in, but as a fan, Poch, Tuchel, we were never going to get them. They probably did reject us, but I was never serious about even considering them because they're not going to come to Leeds United. We have to be a little bit realistic because they're Champions League managers. Leeds United are a long way away from that. But yeah, like, back to the article before we touch on Scoobs' press conference. He did say during his press conference in the run-up to the game against Heerenveen that, he will not go. He did say there was contact with Feyenoord, but it is true that I will stay with Feyenoord. I can say that with this one, that is clear. Fans do not need to be afraid. I am staying in Rotterdam. I think Slot was asked whether he could or did not want to leave. He said, I think a combination of both. The club has been clear. It was a compliment that a club like Leeds was interested, but we are doing something great with Feyenoord. We are in a great position in the league, the cup, and Europe. And he's gone on to say, look, there is no disappointment. It's certainly not a punishment to stay here. So he's going to be staying put. I'm down about that. Like, I can't lie, because as good as Iriola and the links to Bielsa, again, I thought Slot was one where I was looking at the way Feyenoord were playing, how many shots they were getting, etc. The cost of the release clause, which was as little as 6 million, we're being told. I was thinking, you know what, we've got a chance of Slot. The way he was talking. But yeah, and the Gallardo stuff as well. Like, I'll share my screen again with you. Basically saying that he's turned it down. And again, Gallardo was another one where, from what I was hearing, he turned down Ajax, etc. I didn't really ever think that was a serious option mid-season, the end of the season, potentially. But yeah, I don't know what this word means. But we didn't even reach communication. Maybe whose environment, his agency, let the club know that he would not lead until June. So Leeds United, are going to struggle to get a manager of this quality mid-season. And it did go on to say that Pochettino also turned down Leeds' offer. But again, I was never really thinking that we would be able to get someone of Pochettino's standing in the game. He's done his hard yards. He's done his Southampton and then got his move to Spurs and then was at PSG. He's looking at top clubs. Chelsea job could come available at some point. The Liverpool job could even come available at some point. And these are the sort of clubs that he's going to be linked with. We have to be realistic. We need an up-and-coming coach like a Slot, like an Iriola. And unfortunately, they're doing great at their clubs. And it's so late in the season as well. Of course, there's still 18 games or whatever it is to go now for Leeds, but it's quite late in the season, especially when you consider Leeds United's position in the division. I don't know what we do now, folks, because it's not even a case of throwing money at it, is it? Because if it was a case of, right, let's just go back in for Iriola and throw 10 million, he's already said he's not willing to break down that relationship with Rayo Vallecano. I don't know who now the options are for Leeds. By all accounts, I think Adam Pope tweeted out earlier that we've done 4 interviews. None of them have come in yet. You know what I mean? This is disappointing for me as a Leeds United fan. But, I felt that reading it all, Slot was one that was maybe the most realistic from what you were hearing. Just to show you what Adam Pope said on the matter. So obviously he said about Slot ruling himself out in the Dutch press today in his press conference. Club have interviewed 4 main candidates, and the process continues to provide a successor to Jesse Marsh. Who them 4 main candidates are, I would assume you'd be looking at Corberan, Iriola, and Slot. 4th option, I'm not sure who that is. Be just guessing. It's got to the stage, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But I'd give it someone like Rafa till the end of the season. And I know people will say, the style of play, etc. But for me, if you want a Slot, if you want an Iriola, and both could become available in the summer, then give it someone till the end of the season. And I think Benitez is at a stage of his career where he might accept that. Whereas, say, I know Nuno's been mentioned a lot of times. I don't want Nuno, and Nuno wants something longer term. He won't just want to come here till the end of the season. I don't think Rafa takes us down by any stretch of the imagination. So I just think someone like that, not Big Sam. He's been and gone, and I don't even think Leeds United will look to Rafa. But I don't know, like Nuno would be grim, probably Rafa would be grim, but no, not Scott Parker either. Definitely not. No, definitely not Scott Parker. I don't know. I don't know managers that are out there. As I say, if someone would have asked me before names, I wouldn't have been able to say to you Slot. I wouldn't have been able to say to you Iriola. Unfortunately, I don't have a massive, I only really focus on the league that Leeds United are in, and even still there, my knowledge isn't the best. I'm not, me, there's no airs and graces. I just see what I see. But so there will be managers out there, it's just whether Leeds United are interested in them specific managers. Give over Tommy G. Tommy G says, I know Ralph Ranić 100% is being interviewed. Not a chance. not a chance. He best not have anyway, because he's fucking worse than Marsh. I can't be doing with that guy. Nah. Listen, the club have put themselves in this situation by keeping Jesse, for basically employing him in the first place, but keeping him for as long as they have. Andy Whittingham mentions Postecoglou. Maybe Postecoglou could have been the fourth option. I'm not too sure. But I don't know. Listen, if Scoobs gets a result at the weekend, then I know a lot of us will be saying, give it him till the end of the season. But I don't think we should, because I just don't think we should. Tom's okay. So Adam Pope did just say this on the thread, which we thank you very much for whoever's just tagged me in that. You did just put in the comments as well. I'm sorry that I've forgot your name. Let's have a look. Let me give you credit where credit's due. Where is he? I've just seen it. Joe, I've just tagged you in something on Twitter. Where is it? I want to give him his credit. Where is he? You know who you are. You know who you are. I can't find it now. I'm sorry. But I'll share this with you as well. So Tom Whittington, there you go. Probably best not to rule anyone out just yet, including Adoni Iraola of Rayo Vallecano, which is currently at standstill. Again, I don't see that one happening, unfortunately, but maybe I don't know. Cheers, Tom. We'll have to wait and see. That's part of the thread. I'd like Iraola, I'd like Slot, Gallardo, the names that have been mentioned. I do like, having done a little bit of research, watching YouTube clips and all that sort of stuff, as you do as a fan that doesn't know about these before. I've been speaking to Tom from Focus on Leeds as well, who's massive on Iraola, and said he'd be more than happy to come on and speak about him, because he's done a lot of work on Iraola, if indeed he gets the job. But, you know, I suppose that's one positive from Adam Pope, to say, look, don't rule anyone out just yet. But I don't know. It looks like it might be on Scoobs, folks. And listen, right, keep me updated if anything changes. Just put me in the just tag me. I've got my Twitter up here, and we'll check that out. But let's focus on what Scoobs had to say in his pre-match presser. The more I listen to Michael Skubala, the more I think, what a guy, like, so humble. None of this BS chat. That clearly was just that. It's quite interesting. I still stand by the fact that none of the players have come out publicly and thanked Jesse Marsh, which is quite interesting. I don't know if something fell out towards the end. Listen, Mark, who says Seaman comments on Bielsa coming back. I've not seen them comments, but I would have Bielsa back now. Like, even those that said before now, but the fact that managers are turning him down, if he said, I will come till the end of the season, a lot of this squad know what they're doing under him anyway. I would take him. But let's talk about what Scoobs had to say. And he was, first question, straight out the bat, will you be in charge? Well, we know that to be the case anyway, but communication with Auto Daily, he said, and yes, I will be on charge on Sunday. He was asked, will it be the same approach, especially with it being back-to-back games? He says we'll make one or two tweaks from the Wednesday game, but mainly because we've got 3 games in 7 days. Obviously, we play again next weekend. It's all about recovery and regeneration, getting the players back to full fitness. We will work on shape and structure tomorrow. We know previously they only had about 20 minutes to work on that before, but they will do that. He said, look, it's a special occasion for me to lead out this team at Ellen Road. The players are amazing. All the staff have responded really well, and Ellen Road is so special. I can't understate how mad it is that you're going to work Monday morning, then on Wednesday you're leading Leeds United out at Old Trafford, then on Sunday you're leading them out at home against their biggest rival. What a turnaround it is for Skubala, and he's done a great job. But even just the way he speaks, you know, all these people that were saying previously, oh, no, Jesse, he's going to say this, he's going to say that. You don't need to say all that fluff. Do it behind closed doors. But Skubala, straight down the line, so humble. And the press conferences are just so much better. He says, look, we'll need the fans behind us, but it is a pleasure and an honour to do this. Callum says, any chance Slot is just bluffing? Nah. No. Not for me. He wouldn't do that, would he? Because I just think he'd get battered by the Feyenoord fans. I think that one's done. It's dead in the water. Because he's basically come out and said, we've spoken, the clubs have spoken, but I'm going to be staying. He was asked about injuries. He says the long-term injuries are progressing well. This is the likes of Rodrigo, Dallas. He did confirm that Pascal Struijk will miss out due to the concussion sub. He said Liam and Mark Rocker were still assessing. I'm hopeful that Mark Rocker can get fixed. I'd like to see him in the midfield three, but then it'd be harsh to drop Jack Harrison. So probably that will stay put. I'd like Liam to get fit, and the reason I'd like Liam to get fit, I'd like Max Forber to play at left back. People said Firpo did well. Maybe it's a little bit agenda-driven because and it's difficult to sometimes get out of this because I've seen people still berating Ayling after what was his best performance in like months, but rating Firpo. And I looked at Firpo, especially for that first goal that Man United scored. Pellistri should not have got that ball from him. Pellistri should not have got that ball from him. He needed to be strong, get in front of his man and stop that ball even going through. He let it run past him a little bit. Pellistri manages to give it Dallo and the ball comes in the box. So, yes, you're taking Vober out of his centre-back, and I do think the centre-back partnership played really, really well on Wednesday night. I just would prefer someone better at left-back as opposed to Junior Firpo. Andy says Firpo is a great rugby player. What I will say on that challenge, it was great. It was a tactical, good yellow card to take. I dare say even if he was on a yellow, I'd have still preferred him to take that and get himself sent off because Rashford, had he have gone through, would have scored, and we'd have lost that game. We probably might have done with 10 men, but you take that risk. So I think I would like to see Cooper come in so that we can play Vober at left back. But I understand playing Firpo there as well. I think on the right-hand side, Firpo probably might be all right. I think it'll be a much sterner test. I think Rashford will go out to the left this time, which means Luke Ayling will have his work cut out for him. Maybe Sancho plays from the right. I'm not too sure. But Rashford needs to play on the left for them because that's his best position. Luke Ayling, it won't be as easy that because he just pocketed Garnacho for 45 minutes. Let's be really, he pocketed him and bullied him. He said Louis Sinisterra should be okay, but it may be too early. I wouldn't risk Louis. I would have him off the bench if he can give us 20 minutes. I'd start Somerville. Somerville, whenever he plays, he gets involved. Yes, the goal was given to Varane, but without Somerville on the pitch, we don't score that goal. So don't risk Sinisterra for me. We need the likes of these ballers in more winnable games. And of course, we've got Everton and Southampton coming up next for Leeds United. When he was asked specifically what the injuries were, and he mentioned they were just like muscle injury. I don't want to take any risks. The player's health has to come first. So that's one to keep an eye on. I'm just looking at some quotes here from Eric Ten Hag's press conference. Eric Ten Hag says Alejandro Garnacho is not lacking in confidence on the pitch. I don't think he'll start on Sunday. And he says he wants him to add goals and assists to his game. I think at the Wednesday, the few chances that did fall to Garnacho, if that's Rashford on the left-hand side, he probably dispatches them. So I don't know. I don't think Garnacho will start. I think we might see Sancho start, having him, Scott. And to be fair, maybe he will keep Rashford central, as Vic Vinegar says, as opposed to on the right. Maybe Anthony can play Rashford in the centre and then Sancho from the left. Because out of the three that Ayling went up against, I think Sancho gave him his most torrid time. But I will add to the fact that by that point, Ayling was blowing out of his arse. If Christensen was half decent, we could have brought him on. But I don't rate him at all. Big up to Daniel there, just keeping you all honest, please. It is free for you to do. Just smash a like on the video. It helps the YouTube algorithms. It'd be great if you could do that. Anthony is still injured. I hope that's true, bro. Good. So he said, just back to the press conference, he was asked about, are there any chances for you to have individual coaching to try and improve players? It's a bit difficult for him to do that in such a short space of time. But he did say in such a busy week, it's not been on the training pitch that I've had, you know, individual conversations. It's more been from video sessions and good meetings with the leadership group. So this leadership group is still there or thereabouts. But do you know what? In situations like this, you need that leadership group, because Michael Skubala has been thrown into a situation he never envisaged. You need the likes of Cooper, Availing, to grab these young lads and let them know the gravity of the situation. And whatever they did say going into Wednesday's game, they were ready from minute one. We scored within the first minute. You could see structurally the way we set up, the discipline of the players was good. Nonto a few times, reluctant to come back, and Adams had to tell him a few times, I noticed in the game, but that's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need. He was asked about his philosophy long term. And he says, look, I enjoy winning. I enjoy scoring goals and taking the game to the opposition. And that's what we did, right? That's what we did, right? So I expect more of the same. I would argue, I think we might be a little bit more adventurous because we're at home. The crowd will be behind us. Like for me, if we scored in the first minute at Ellen Road, let's just say we're in Ellen Road, like the noise, the atmosphere, I genuinely believe someone like Garnacho, who struggled anyway, would wilt. I genuinely believe that. You might get the likes of Varane, Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford that will thrive on that. But there'll be some players within that setting that would struggle. I genuinely believe that. So if Leeds United can get a goal early like we did at Old Trafford, I think we can win the game. I think we can win the game. So like Skubala says, let's go out and take the game to the opposition from minute one. Van's just asked me there, do you fancy another draw? I would take a draw. Definitely. Because points win your prizes. Yeah. Points win your prizes. Joseph Tiffany said, Ernesto Valverde is Leeds' main target. Ernesto is flying over to Leeds today for talks. He's the current Bilbao manager. I know my good friend Oscar Marriott mentioned Valverde before, but I've not seen any news about that. But again, that'd be another top-notch appointment. But at the minute, we're not getting any luck with regards to managers, are we? Just on this as well, like Bruno's comments. Bruno's made quite a few comments, and I hope, big up Juan Martinez, I hope that they're pinned to the dressing room wall. I hope the likes of Adams and McKennie absolutely go through him like a steam train. The fact that he's coming out talking about Leeds United weren't good, we were just poor, Leeds United time wasted and stuff coming from him, who spends the majority of his time on the floor. Best believe he's going to get a naughty atmosphere. So let's see how he does. Let's see how he does. He's been giving it big bucks. Listen, I'm going to have my preview ready in the morning, so you'll be able to watch that. But we're going to be talking about Bruno in that one, because the guy's been coming out swinging. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he does. Getting at him. That would be my chat in the dressing room. And I think the likes of Cooper, the likes of Ayling will be saying that. Let's push the guy's buttons. Let's push the guy's buttons. He was then asked which players have responded really well to your conversations, to your coaching. He said all of them. He's not going to come out and name names, is he? I think it's a bit of a stupid question. Like, what's he going to do? Come out and say, just only three, three individuals. I don't know. He said all of them. And he said the experience group are helping the youth. And I just want to talk about this experience group for a second. Far too many Leeds United fans throw shade at our experience group. Far too many. Without experienced players in the setup, then where are you going? Do you know what I mean? You just have to look at clubs like Liverpool that bring on a Milner, that still have Henderson. And even see their fans going, oh, these are dead, they're washed. You need to have them in and around the place. You need to have them. You cannot undervalue the level of experience needed in the Premier League. If you just throw out a bunch of kids, they're going to struggle. You need to have them. And I think too many times Leeds fans go, oh, far too sentimental, get them all gone. I'm like, what? Like, you can't do that. There needs to be, I agree, Matt, about the disrespect on the old guard. It's crazy. It's crazy. You need to have experience. It blew my mind. It blew my mind that after Wednesdays, people were still saying Ayling needs to go. Now, if that's not agenda-driven, I don't know what is, because Ayling had one of his best games for a very long time. People, naturally, he goes forward better than he is backwards, but even defensively, his numbers were off the charts. We're off the charts. Off the charts. So, Cameron, if you can share with me where I said Ayling was done, we can have a chat about it. But I think the majority, and listen, I'm fickle, and listen, I'm reactionary at times. So there might be a few occasions where you catch me on the fly, but 90% of the time I back this old guard. If you watch me regularly, you know that. You know that. There will be times where I've maybe said that, and that's fine. That's reactionary. That's emotional at the time. And I'm when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When I'm right, don't I let you know I'm right? It is what it is. It's a character trait that I have. My brothers will tell you that. But I think the 95% of the time I'm always backing these lads. And I just think it's mad. And you can imagine how much Skubala has had to lean on them. Because without them, maybe it wouldn't have been such an easy transition. So he was then asked about him. Obviously, he comes across as very humble. We can all say that. There's no bullshit. I'm not too sure that Jesse was a humble guy, if I'm being totally honest. And the fact that the players haven't come out and thanked the man, then I think it was a bit of a totalitarian sort of leadership, and we were told it was all cohesive and everyone had a voice and that. I'm not quite sure it was in the end. But what you can get from Mike Skubala in the few times that we've watched him and heard him, he is very, very humble. So he's asked, do you have to be forceful? Do you have to change that? And he was a bit like, well, I don't get what you mean. But he said, I make strong decisions. When a decision needs to be made, I will make it. And he said, shouting, you don't need to be aggressive. And great leaders do not need to be aggressive. Now, of course, great managers know who to be not aggressive, but who to put a rocket up their arse with and who to be softly. And that's the power of man management. Do you know what I mean? That's true. But there is also so much in you don't have to be authoritarian all the time. There's ways in which you do it, and that doesn't need to be done aggressively or via shouting. And I don't see Skubala being like that. He was then asked, how prepared are you for a different game? And I will say this much. I think Ten Hag maybe took Leeds United lightly. Maybe some of the players on the pitch took Leeds United lightly. I think we might see Weghorst dropped. I don't know if he can do much in midfield. I think he might put Rashford on the left. So to be fair, Skubala said, look, I spoke with the staff, and I like this attitude that he did have. He said, I spoke to the staff after the game and said, listen, it's only a point and we need to get 3. Sounded very bullish. We need to get 3. And this is another chance for 3 points, which a week ago, none of us would have believed, really. But I have a sense of belief going into the game on Sunday. And he said, we need to get 3 points, and it's another chance for 3 points. He said, have you got any plans if it continues past next week? He was asked that question. And he said, no, I'm taking it day by day. I'm taking it day by day. And I'm having constant communication with the board. He was then asked, did he change that much from Jesse? Obviously, I said I could see definite tactical tweaks. People told me it was exactly the same. I didn't agree with it. And he said, look, we did make some tweaks on how we approach the game and the structure. I think we could all see that. The press of when to engage, really, I could see straight away. We had 2 banks of 3, and it just looked so much more cohesive. Harrison doing it over this side, then Bamford central, and then we had Cini over on the right, and then behind that you had McKennie and Adams, and it just looked so much better. He was then asked, when a new manager comes in, what does a new manager inherit? And he said, good players, good staff, and a top club. I like that. He was then asked about the mental state of the group. Graham Smith asked him about there being stress and fear. And he said, nah, they're excited to play at the weekend. It's an opportunity for 3 points, and the crowd will push the team. And I think we'll see more of the same like we did on Wednesday night. He was asked about under 21s being involved with training. Can they get minutes with you in charge? And he said, look, it's healthy to have competition, but I don't want to see any of the 21s coming. Big up to you over on Twitch. Remember, you can follow me on Twitch. I will be getting the new Harry Potter game for any Harry Potter fans. I won't be streaming that on YouTube, though, so that'll be over on Twitch. I've also opened up a TikTok account just for some of my shorts kind of things. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, the link is in the description on that. Just got, if you can't beat them, join them in it. I'll be doing a Wakey Wines before you know it, best believe.
What's the best shopping, Wakey? Wakey Wines.
Yes. So he said, what's your hopes long term? I love this saying. I love this saying. Look after today and tomorrow looks after itself. Do you know what I mean? I like that. I like that. He said, hopefully we'll say, people I work with will say good things about me. And maybe in the future, you know, who knows what's around the corner. He was asked about this job specifically, and he said the coach needs to match the project. I'm happy where I am, learning and developing. Skubala's not going to get this long term, but like he's made the point there, he's learning on the job all the time. He said, specifically about your job this week, how much of it has been coaching and how much of it has been psychological? I didn't bring a drink with me. Damn. How much of it has been coaching and how much of it has been psychological? And he said they're both coaching. They're both coaching. We create players, not robots. And it's true, innit? You need, like I said earlier, great man managers know how to speak to certain players and at which time. He said, do you change it for this weekend? And I think this is quite interesting. He says, look, thinking about what your opposite number can do is the most difficult thing to do, especially when you've played someone in such quick succession. So for me, I'd like Scubala to spring a surprise. Because we were, being honest, we were a bit of an unknown entity. And we get a 2-0 lead. Ten Hag now knows how Leeds United are going to come. He knows they're going to come correctly. So he might make tactical tweaks. So Skubala needs to be wary of that as well. And he said it's like a chess match, but we've got to focus on what we do. He said, he was asked a question about him specifically. He said, did you have to prepare mentally for Wednesday? And I love this as well. He just said, I've been preparing for this for 20 years and I've loved it. Love that. Bullish, humble, straight to the point. Great press conference for me. He was asked specifically about McKennie and Adams and their relationship off and on the pitch and with the USA men's national team. And if we're being honest, as a midfield pairing, they were great on Wednesday. And he said, I'm so encouraged by them. They have a great partnership off and on it. And that's why we brought them here. That's why we wanted them to play together, because we wanted to see more of that. You know, we just need to get Yunus Musa, don't we? And then we can complete the set. But yeah, listen, Skubala, great press conference again. I'm not listening to the same old drivel. It's just nice to hear him go bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? And we're done. What happens now for Leeds United long term? I'm not too sure, because we've now had, from what we know that's out there in the press, 3 manager rejections. Not rejections is the wrong word, but basically we've approached 3 managers and we still don't have one. So you can call it rejection, you can call it a difference of circumstances or unable to acquire them or whatever. Look, Popey said the Iriola one isn't dead in the water. I hope that's going to be the case. I don't know who Leeds United go to next, but what's for sure, in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll start to hear stuff, because they're not going to be able to keep it quiet, are they? There's too many people out there that will start to leak stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's not great, is it? I don't know what we do. But listen, I'll focus on Manchester United on Sunday, 2:00. I'll be doing a watch along for it. I'll do a preview. I'll film that and put that out tomorrow, so you'll have something to watch on the Saturday. Thanks again for all the support on the channel. Final Word was amazing last night. We had over 1,000 live viewers. That's class. Remember, the Final Word will be live 8:00 the evening after every game. We had over we had 2.6 live viewers, 2.6 thousand live viewers on the watch along. Hopefully more of the same on Sunday as well. So big up to you all, and thanks again for your support. Give it Scoobs till the end of the season. It's great to hear him though. You know, I'm confident for Sunday. I am. I'm pretty bullish. It'll be a tough game, but I think it's one that we can get 3 points in. Imagine playing Man United twice and us getting 4 points. That'd be amazing. Even two. Even two's still good. But give it 4 would be class. 4 would be class. And then we've got Everton and Southampton. And I'd take 4 out of them. I'd take 4 out of them. You just can't lose them, can you? Got to beat Southampton. It's the Everton one that'll be tough. But we'll see. Listen, smash a like on your way out. If you're watching this on the repeat, smash a like. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. I'll film a preview, put it out in the morning, and then I'll see you Sunday. But thanks as always for watching.